What's going on, guys? So this is going to be a new series of videos that I am making called Is It Bad? The reason why I'm not saying it isn't meta because we've already talked about before that certain decks are not considered meta because of pros or players, or in my opinion anyways, that they're considered bad, so they have bad stigma around them, so we're not going to talk about if this card's bad or playable, or even if it's playable, just is it bad altogether? And I thought I'd start out with a more simple card and something that I know isn't necessarily a terrible card I want to talk about. Let's talk about XYZ Reborn. Now I want to talk about this card is because back in the day, we've had a format where Monster Reborn was pretty much a staple in every deck. People used it. You almost banked on it almost, because not only could you get back a monster from your graveyard, you get back a monster from your opponent's graveyard. And it was a very, very great card, and it was played a lot. A lot. But this card was played for a little bit. It saw a little bit of time play. Nothing too meta, I don't think. Nothing that was like crazy in high-end decks or the top-tier decks. But it was played a little bit. But now I feel like I've seen it phased out completely. Now that's mostly because XYZs are more of an accessory than they are a boss. Not always, but for the most part. Most decks swarm out on the field, whether it's cards from the actual deck, and they can make XYZs or synchros that help them further their deck strategy. But they're more like a tool. Now, this isn't for every deck, obviously, but for the most part, a lot of the decks right now, it's more of a tool than it is a full-on boss monster, like boss card that you're trying to go out for like it was a year or two ago. If you understand what I'm trying to say, it's not the main thing. But anyways, I feel like that's a reason why a lot of it doesn't see play anymore, because XYZs are more of an accessory than they are my main objective. I'm trying to get this so-and-so XYZ monster out. But once again, that's not always for one deck. That's just broad of the format. But if you don't know, after me rambling, this topic's kind of out of order, XYZ Reborn is basically target an XYZ monster in your graveyard, special summon it, and then use XYZ Reborn trap card as an attachment. And I feel like this is a very underrated card, because for just one card you can replace, one simple card, I mean you could put more of them, because I don't think it's limited to any degree, but one simple card, you can get back an XYZ and then have an attachment on it. Now, that can be very useful for multiple reasons. One, it can give you some defense, and it's still a Reborn card, and it gives you a material, so depending on the XYZ you revive, you can either survive an extra turn, use an effect an extra time, and while it's definitely not earth-shattering of a card, I feel like it's a card that's definitely overlooked. Once again, I'm not saying it's meta, but it's definitely a good card. It's a card that people have forgotten about and people do not play, and it's definitely a good card. There's no in-between if it's bad or good. It's an okay card. Is it ground-shattering? No, but is it a bad? No, it's definitely not a bad card. And it definitely has some use. I've tried playing it since I was going to make this video. I tried using it in some decks, even newer decks, and it definitely never won me games, but it was nice to have. It was definitely not a bad thing to have this card and be able to bring back something that is completely gone and have an XYZ to use as an effect. The only downside of this card is that in the current state of the game and the more meta cards we have require removing 2 attachments. So yeah, you might be able to bring back this monster, but it might not be able to have an effect. Not all XYZ monsters are like that, but a lot of the ones, like a lot of staples, like, well, I wouldn't call maybe all these are staples, but for most decks that make rank 4s, like number 101, Dark Rebellion Dragon, and Castel, those are your common go-tos to get rid of prone monsters, and they all require removing 2 materials for the good effect. I think Castel has a remove 1 effect, but the one that returns the card to the deck is 2. Anyways, not to say there aren't decks that take advantage of just 1 attachment that you can bring back. I feel like this card is more useful in decks that have higher end, stronger tier XYZ monsters. So it's just saying, for example, if Dragon Rulers were still around and you could make Big Eye or number 101, not number 101, Draco Sack, cards that you used to be able to make constantly. Draco Sack's not that good of a card now, which I find hilarious, but that's another video, is that you can bring them back and now they have a material, so they have an extra time to use their effect, and it's a big attack monster, so it's more worthwhile. I think it doesn't say target or rank. Hold on, you know what? I'm gonna look that up. Yes, it is not a specific rank, so you can special summon whatever you want. So like I said, would it be better in higher XYZ level decks even though there aren't any? Yes. Is it an all-around bad card? No. It is a good card. I feel like people should try it out more. It's depending on the deck you play, it might help you out to have 1 in it. It might be a cool thing to play. Earth-shattering, once again, definitely not. Good to play? Anyways, give me your thoughts down below. Is it great? Is it bad? You know, whatever. Thoughts of the card down below. And I feel like this whole video I've been a little lower than usually because I'm sitting in my computer chair and I feel like I have to sit like with my one leg up to sit up straight. I don't know. It's a weird thing to say. Well, yep, let me know down below. See you later. Peace.
Damn.